بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا. إنه من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله وصفيه من خلقه وخليله. بلغ الرسالة وأدى الأمانة ونصح الأمة وكشف الغمة وتركها على المحجة البيضاء ليلها كنهارها لا يزيغ عنها إلا هالك. أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله تعالى وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. وما قل وكفى خير مما كثر وألهى. وإنما توعدون لآت وما أنتم بمعجزين. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. ثم أما بعد عباد الله, to proceed the servants of Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أرأيت الذي يكذب بالدين فذلك الذي يدع اليتيم ولا يحض على طعام المسكين فويل للمصلين الذين هم عن صلاتهم ساهون الذين هم يراءون ويمنعون الماعون. Which means, have you not seen or have you seen the one who denies resurrection? You could translate this as the one who denies the religion or denies resurrection, most translated as the one, or most interpreted to mean the one who denies the day of resurrection, the day of reckoning, يوم القيامة. رأيت الذي يكذب بالدين, have you seen the one who denies resurrection or rejects resurrection? That is the one who repels the orphan. That is the one who repels the orphan. الذي يدع اليتيم ولا يحض على طعام المسكين, and he does not urge others to feed the poor. فويل للمصلين الذين هم عن صلاتهم ساهون. So woe unto those who pray, or those who are prayerful, or those who pray but they are heedless in their prayer. فويل للمصلين الذين هم عن صلاتهم ساهون. Woe unto those who pray but they are heedless in their prayer, or they are negligent of their prayer. It means both. They are negligent of the prayer and heedless in the prayer. الذين هم يراءون, those who show off, ويمنعون الماعون, and withhold small acts of charity, or withhold even small acts of charity. This particular ayah, or this particular surah, Surah Al-Ma'un, has been revealed in Mecca. And in Mecca, the foundations of the religion have been laid down in the Quran, and the Meccan ayat, they talk about the very foundation and the skeleton of the religion, the pillars of our faith, the pillars of Islam, what it means to be a Muslim. And this was quite an interesting surah, because in Mecca, the people were actually disbelievers. Most of the people were complete disbelievers. They actually rejected Allah being the only God worthy of worship. So it was not about the details of faith. They rejected the very basis of faith in Islam. So a surah like this to be revealed in an environment like this is to tell us that from the very beginning, a great deal of care has been given to the aspects of morality and kindness and good treatment of people in Islam, along with faith, along with the basic principles or pillars of faith in Allah, the angels, the books, the Day of Judgment, and so on, and along with the basic actions of worship or acts of worship like the Salah. The Siyam was even legislated in Medina, and so was the Zakah in the way we know it now, although charity as a concept was legislated in Mecca. So, but a surah like this that talks about the ones who deny their religion, reject their religion, when you hear this, أَرَأَيْتَ الَّذِي يُكَذِّبُ بِالدِّينِ, have you seen the one who denies or rejects the resurrection or the Day of Judgment, and consequently the religion? You would expect what? In Mecca, you would expect the answer to be what? The one who does not believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one who does not believe in the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as the only deity worthy of worship, the one who does not believe in coming back to life from Hayatul Barzakh, or life in the grave, the one who does not even believe in life in the grave, and so on. But the answer was, فَذَلِكَ الَّذِي يَدُعُ الْيَتِيمَ. That is the one who repels the orphan. To stress, to highlight, to underscore, to emphasize the importance of kindness, the importance of charitable doing, the importance of morality in Islam from the very beginning of da'wah, or the message of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So, should we not take heed from this? Should we not benefit from this as Muslims, as a community that is a nascent community, a beginning community, a community in its childhood, the Muslim community in the West, the Muslim community in America, the Muslim community in Minnesota, the Muslim community in the Twin Cities, is a community that's still in its beginning or early stages, although we have been here for quite some time now, but we have not made enough progress to be anywhere close to maturity. We're still in the beginning stages of forming a community. A surah like this would actually be quite important for us to contemplate, to ponder over the meanings of this surah. It is not about ritualism, even though we do not belittle acts of worship that are devoted to God. The Salah is our best act of worship. Salah is the best thing a human being can do. So we're not talking about belittling, rituals in the sense that what matters is how good you are deep in your heart, and what doesn't matter whether you observe the obligations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or not. It doesn't matter whether you abstain from His prohibitions or not. We're not saying that. But we're saying that those obligations, those prohibitions, if done correctly, they have consequences. The fruits of those acts of worship should show on you, should show on your morality, should show on your conduct, your behavior towards others, even your conduct, your self-conduct, the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you eat, the way you sit, the way you stand. A Muslim should actually be an example of good conduct, whether it is personal conduct, self-conduct, whether it's interactions with the people and treatment of other people, and so on and so forth. As Salah itself, those acts of worship that are devoted to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that are between you and Allah, should bring about this result. And if they did not bring about this result, if they did not show the desirable effect on you, you have to ask yourself whether you're doing it right or not. You have to ask yourself whether you're doing it for the right cause or not, whether you're actually praying for the right purpose, and whether you're actually praying correctly. You're heedful in your prayer. And that is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَوَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنْ صَلَاتِهِمْ سَاهُونَ. so if you rebuild the orphan and if you do not urge others to feeding the poor, then you're not really praying. فَوَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ. So woe unto those who pray. They do pray, by the way. Allah said they pray. But they are not praying right. They are not praying, either they're not praying for the right purpose or they're not praying right, but it is not working. Therefore, woe unto those who pray, those who are heedless in their prayer or negligent about their prayer. They're actually both, because if you're negligent, you'll be heedless. And if you're heedless, you're also negligent. You're negligent of the prayer, meaning you do not really care when you pray, or if you pray on time or not, or care about the prerequisites of prayer, making sure that all the prerequisites or the shurut of the salah are, fulfilled to the best of your ability, getting yourself ready for the prayer, getting yourself prepared for the prayer. You should be conscious of the fact that you're going to be standing before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So don't pray on the go, because you have to really be cognizant of the fact that this is a conversation between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imagine that you're going to be, once you say Allahu Akbar, that you're going to be now in a conversation with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, standing before Him, and He holds His face towards your face as long as you do not turn around. So all of this needs to be really brought to our reality as Muslims. We need to go back and figure out what is wrong, what is happening, why is the prayer not coming to fruition, or why our acts of worship are not coming to fruition. Why are we not an exemplary community or society where you see manifestations of kindness, manifestations of integrity, manifestations of honesty, and so on and so forth. There is another hadith also that carries the same meaning, or that implies the same meaning. And it's a very strong hadith. It is an authentic one. It's reported by Imam Muslim in his authentic collection from Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu. And it is a hadith Qudsi. It is a divine hadith. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who spoke of this meaning. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam related it from Allah. So in this hadith Qudsi, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam relates from Allah that Allah will say to the son of Adam on the day of judgment, يا ابن آدم مرضت فلم تعدني فيقول وكيف أعودك وأنت رب العالمين يا ربي كيف أعودك وأنت رب العالمين فيقول الله أما علمت أن عبدي فلانا مرض فلم تعده ولو أما علمت أنك لو عدته لوجدتني عنده يا ابن آدم استطعمتك فلم تطعمني فيقول وكيف أطعمك وأنت رب العالمين فيقول الله عز وجل أما علمت أن عبدي فلانا استطعمك فلم تطعمه ولو أطعمته لوجدت ذلك عندي يا ابن آدم استسقيتك فلم تسقني قال وكيف أسقيك وأنت رب العالمين قال أما علمت أن عبدي فلانا استسقاك فلم تسقيه ولو سقيته لوجدت ذلك عندي. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say to the son of Adam, O son of Adam, I became sick and you did not visit me, or I fell ill and you did not visit me. So the abd, or the son of Adam, will say to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how could I have visited you, and you are the Lord of the worlds? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will explain what that means, and He will say, my servant so-and-so fell ill and you did not visit him. Had you visited him, have you not known that if you visited him, you would have found me there? O son of Adam, I asked you for food. I asked you to feed me, and you did not. And the son of Adam will say, how could I feed you, and you are the Lord of the worlds? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say, have you not known that my servant so-and-so asked you for food, and you did not feed him, and had you fed him, had you not known that if you fed him, you would have found this with me. You would have found the recompense, the reward of this with me. O son of Adam, I asked you for water, and you did not give me water. In other words, did not quench my thirst. And then the son of Adam will say, how could I have given you water, and you are the Lord of the worlds? And Allah would say the same thing. Have you not known that so-and-so of my servants asked you for water, and you did not give him? Had you given him, you would have found this with me. You would have found the reward of this with me. The question that we want to ask ourselves, do you really want to be in that position? Do you really want to stand? Do we really believe in this hadith? Do we really believe in the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ? And if we truly believe in the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, then this is a hadith that is highly authentic, reported by Muslim, rahimahullah. So if you truly believe in the hadith, you truly believe in the sunnah, you truly believe that you will stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone without a translator or interpreter or a medium between you and him, and you truly believe that you will be asked those questions, how could we not prepare answers? How could we not spend our lives in doing kindness, in doing that exact thing that Hadith talks about, in visiting the sick, in following the funeral, visiting the sick, helping the needy, watching for one another, supporting one another, and feeding the hungry, and giving shelter to the homeless, and so on and so forth. That is, if we truly don't do this, and if we don't do this enough, and if we don't do this as a community, and we as a community are all responsible, we're all responsible. Those of us who do this work shall be exempt from this, or shall be clear of liability on the Day of Judgment, but those who do not do this work shall be liable, and they will deserve to get the fair recompense of their negligence, of what is obligatory on them, what's due on them, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had asked of them. Do we believe in resurrection? Have you seen the one who belies or rejects or denies resurrection? Here is the thing. Why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say denies resurrection? Because if you truly have true solid faith and conviction in resurrection, and it is always present in your consciousness, you will not neglect those duties. You will not repel the orphan. You will not transgress. You will not fall short of doing kindness to others who are needy at the time of their need. It is a matter of iman. It's a matter of the completeness of your iman or lack thereof. And once the greater your iman, your faith, your belief in those meanings, and in the reality of resurrection, in the reality of the Day of Judgment, in the reality of being of this very scenario that we talked about, you standing before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone without a medium between you and Him, if all of this is really vividly in there in your consciousness, and you do not work to suppress it, and you do not work to sort of send it to the back of your mind because you want to enjoy your life, or you want to run around and make more money and possess more and become more distinguished, more powerful, etc., etc. So if in pursuit of all of this vanity, and the life of this world is nothing but a deceiving enjoyment, in pursuit of the self-deceit and all of this vanity, you try to push all of those other meanings, all of those other thoughts to the back of your mind. So you see like problems in the community, you do not try to resolve them. You see those who are needy, you do not seek to help them. You hear a khutbah like this, and you go home and you work hard to forget it. Or you do not work to remember any of what you heard, because you're going to be too busy to remember this. And you do not want to feel guilt. No, we don't like to be guilty. We don't like to feel any sort of guilt. Even the most guilty of human beings, even the most transgressors or transgressing human beings, they have this sort of rejection of, that they have this denial of their own guilt. And they try to work hard to convince themselves that, no, we're not guilty. We have not done this to be evil, and we're not doing this to be evil. This is justice, this is this or that. So it really isn't about how much we say, because if you go through the Quran and the Sunnah, you will find so much to corroborate with us, so much to confirm what we said. It is about one verse. The Sahaba alayhim and the Salaf alayhim, they used to cry the whole night repeating one verse, contemplating the meanings of the implications of this verse, because they are heedful. So it is about one verse that you actually understand well and that you act upon. One verse that you understand well and you act upon. It is not surprising that Imam Shafi'i said, had Surah Al-Asr been the only surah revealed to humanity, it would have been sufficient. Surah Al-Asr, had it been the only surah revealed to humanity, it would have been sufficient. But I'll give you this one more, or a few more verses. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَلَقْتَحَمَ الْعَقَبَ وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا الْعَقَبَ فَكُّ رَقَبَ أَوْ إِطْعَامٌ فِي يَوْمٍ ذِي مَسْقَبَ يَتِيمًا ذَا مَقْرَبَ أَوْ مِسْكِينًا ذَا مَتْرَبَ. So Allah says, no, he had not crossed the great hurdle. He had not crossed the great barrier. The great barrier between you and salvation, between you and prosperity, between you and falah, between you and success in this life and the hereafter. What is the great barrier? Allah will tell you what the great barrier is. فَلَقْتَحْمَ الْعَقَبَ. He did not cross the great hurdle or great barrier. وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا الْعَقَبَ. And what would make you aware of al-aqaba? How could you be aware of what al-aqaba is, or the great hurdle is, until I tell you? Because we can't know what is pleasing to Allah and what is displeasing to Allah until Allah tells us. And Allah told us through the Prophet ﷺ, the final Prophet and Messenger. So all gates except his have been closed, all paths except his have been abandoned. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not accept anyone coming through any gate except his sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So فَلَقْتَحْمَ الْعَقَبَ وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا الْعَقَبَ. How would you know what al-aqaba is until I tell you? And then Allah tells him and the ummah from behind him, فَكُّ رَقَبَ, it is the emancipation of a slave. فَكُّ رَقَبَ means emancipation of a slave. أَوْ إِطْعَامٌ فِي يَوْمٍ ذِي مَسْغَبَ, or to give food on a day of famine. يَتِيمًا ذَا مَقْرَبَ, an orphan that is of your kin. أَوْ مِسْكِينًا ذَا مَتْرَبَ, or a poor person in distress. So that is the great hurdle. That is the great barrier. We have so many hurdles in our lives that we focus on more than this. Some people, the greatest hurdle is to finish college. Some people's greatest hurdle is to get a particular job. They say that this is the bottom of the neck for me. You can say the great hurdle is like the bottom of the neck, or the neck of the bottom. So the neck of the bottom for people could be to finish college, could be to marry a certain person. And they say to themselves, if I marry that woman, I will not, I'll not ask Allah for anything more than this. Because that's it for them. Or to have a particular job, or to lose 20 pounds because they feel overweight and they feel that this is the greatest challenge in their life. But the greatest challenge in your life is to cross to salvation, to cross to falah, to success in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to earn this salvation that will save you in this life and the one to come. And Allah told you how to cross that great hurdle or that threshold. Emancipation of a slave, but if you can't do this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you a prototype of other acts. It is not only to feed the hungry, but feeding the hungry here is a prototype for the acts of kindness and charitable conduct. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه. الحمد لله وكفى وسلام وصلاة على عباده الذين اصطفى ثم أما بعد. To proceed, so our deen is not a deen of ritualism, although the rituals in the sense of the acts of worship that are devoted to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are extremely important at the heart of this deen. Your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is at the heart of this deen. But when we say ritualism, we're not talking about acts of worship. We're talking about people who do those acts of worship with heedlessness. The people who do this acts of worship to show off. The people who do those acts of worship just to get them out of the way. Some people, may do this without showing off. They still pray at home. But they're doing them just to get them out of the way. Let's get it over with. And I want to finish, I need to really finish praying Isha because I want to have dinner. I want to enjoy my dinner. So let me just get it over with Isha so that I can sit down and enjoy my dinner. So if that is what we do, if we just do those acts of worship to show off, or we do them because we're accustomed to them, that is what we've been trained to do or coached to do by our parents, or if we do them just to get them out of the way, because we still believe that there is hereafter, and we still want, at least to not be immortal in hellfire. Those acts of worship then will not bring about the fruit, the desirable fruit from their practice. So that is the ritualism that is condemnable. Not that we belittle the importance of prayer, or importance of fasting, or importance of any act of worship that's done out of sincerity for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But if we don't see them coming to fruition in terms of changing our conduct, morality, and so on, then we're not doing the right, and that's the point. And the point also is that we should start as a community, we should start as individuals, to find out ways by which we can clear ourselves of this liability in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the Day of Judgment. Allah does not ask souls beyond their capacity. You are not going to be responsible for feeding all the hungry people of the world. You're not going to be responsible for having visited all the sick people in the world or relieved their distress, but you will be responsible for having failed to do what you could have done towards those people, the sick, the needy, the poor, and so on and so forth. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us of those who listen to the speech and follow its best. اللهم ارنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه، وارنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. اللهم لا تسلط علينا بذنوبنا من لا يخافك ولا يرحمنا. اللهم انك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عنا. ربنا آت نفوسنا تقواها وزكها أنت خير من زكاها أنت وليها ومولاها. وأقم الصلاة إن الصلاة تنهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون. And I would like to remind you in the salah to make a dua for your brethren in Syria. May Allah relieve their distress.